unbelievable. Y'all are unbelievable. Y'all are in your feelings. Now I gotta explain exactly what I meant so we can have a proper understanding of what I meant by what I was saying when I said it was over. Because I realize on social media, you can't leave anything up into interpretation because people's minds are run wild. So it's best that you explain what you mean and let them run off with, with your explanation than to come up with one of their own. Because I'm reading the comments this morning, actually last night into this morning. I read the comments and I'm like, they don't get what the fuck. They're not getting it. And it's a lot of the initial superficial reaction is going to be an emotional one for a lot of people. So I'm like, I get the emotional reaction. We get it. But logically, it's not over, but it's over. That's realistic. Scottie's down for several weeks. Somebody said in the comment section that 10 to 14 days. I also read a few weeks, which is, it could be 2 weeks, 3, whatever it is. Several is more than 2. It's 2 or more. But my point was we shouldn't rush to bring him back. We should put him we should manage him differently for the rest of the year. As far as us pushing for postseason, as far as postseason possibilities are concerned, the season is over. That's what I meant. As far as us truly competing for a postseason position, it's over. That's the point I was making. That was it. That's it. And a lot of people were just taking it a certain way. Like, I wasn't giving up, and I'm not giving up on the prospect of the team getting better and getting in pocket. But I'm realizing we're a step further behind with the injury to Scottie. We don't have the experienced assets coming off the bench contributing to hold us down until he comes back, and then we make a valiant effort towards a postseason move or postseason position. We don't have that. And I'm just keeping it in a rack of ribs. I'm telling y'all the truth, and people are getting them. You don't believe in this team, and you didn't. No, realistically, it's over. And I'm not talking about tanking. That's someone else's conversation. I don't even know how that works. I only know how to compete and try to win. Now, if you beat me, then you beat me. But I'm gonna compete, right? As far as the tanking thing is concerned, like I said, that's someone else's conversation. That's not my emphasis. My emphasis was the reality of Scottie going down, this setback, another setback. Still don't have Emmanuel quickly. Kells just came back. Bruce Brown still got us for $20 million. We have young players who have very little to no NBA experience on the court and off the court within the lifestyle of being a pro ball player. It's a lot. And then they expect them to live up to even the minute of expectations is too much to ask of these young kids. They can't even fathom what we're talking about when we say playoffs or make a playoff push or even to truly compete in the NBA because they're learning right now what that means every day. And some people gravitate and grasp the meaning and the significance sooner than others. They're not all learning at the same speed, at the same pace. They all have their own agendas. They all have their own way of playing and learning. You got to remember, these young players were the man where they were from. Remember that. They were the man where they were. We're talking about everybody that comes into the NBA. They were the man where they were. 9 times out of 10. The players we got, most of them were the man on the teams that they come from. Now you're coming to the NBA. That's somebody else's role. Somebody else is the man. Now you have to figure out what type of player you're going to be or what type of player the team needs you to be or the league needs you to be. What identity now? Who are you now as a basketball player? They've never had to deal with that. Most of the time, guys coming into the league were the stars when they were kids. They were stars in high school, stars in college. Now they get to the NBA. That's not even an option. Somebody already got that spot. Now you have to either work your way into that spot and they'll enable you to do that, or you have to fight to create whatever position that you can and create an identity from your own efforts. That's a lot to deal with. And then we have these ambitions and we're comparing them to another unit that won the G League championship and that won an NBA championship as the supporting cast and then excelled when given more time, more opportunities, and blew up. Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. They should do a story on the Raptors bench from the G League when they won the championship and the salaries to where they are now. We're talking possibly over $1 billion made. That's from the supporting cast. We're not talking about Kyle and DeRozan. We're talking about the supporting cast. Those guys who fought. They were the young group that came in. Those dudes have accumulated over $1 billion in salary as a collective. And it's like what? 6 of them at them, 6, maybe 7 of them? Like we're talking about the evolution of expectation. Like we don't have normal expectation for a supporting cast. We've seen them ascend from no one knowing who they were, redefining who they were, coming from a place in college where they were the guy, where they were the man, now coming to the league and having to redefine who they are and building themselves up from nothing to all-star, to all-NBA, to champions and millionaires. When people didn't even think some of them would make it in the league. They found, man, listen, we can't put that on this group. That they're not them. That they are not those, as the kids would say, they are not those guys. And I'm realistically looking at it like, all right, cool. I accept them for who they are. We're a step behind that. We're a step behind being able to truly compete in the NBA. So now guys got to get their reps in. And I'm cool with that. But I'm not looking at these games thinking with the reality of we can beat anybody. Because realistically, we can. In theory, in concept. It's a 50-50 game whenever you go in until the ball gets thrown in the air. And then the realities of who got experience and who got talent and who got ability and who's on that night will start to show itself. But the reality is, when you go into a game, you truly want to believe in your team and believe that they can beat anybody. We're a step behind that. Because they're a step behind the belief and the hope that we should have. And then they're a step, then that next step is truly competing. And then the next step is winning and figuring out how to win. And then winning on a regular basis, making that part of your new normal, and then going into playoffs and all the other stuff. We got a lot of steps and milestones to achieve realistically. And being unrealistic with this group is just going to break your heart. Because we can't compare them to Fred and them. Like I have never seen that. I've never seen the bench elevate themselves. When have you ever seen that in the NBA? When you saw a whole group from the bench elevate themselves to all-star, all NBA, all defensive, all get paid, all get rings. Like when? I've never seen that shit. Never. Not never. I'm not never. And we probably will never see that shit again. That bench mob is a story within itself. It's never been done. It's probably never going to be done ever again by anybody in sports, let alone in the NBA, because they changed the rules. It's one of the greatest reality shows in the world now. The sanctity of basketball is in the backdrop to the entertainment portion of it, which falls right into my hands because I get to do what I do best, and I get to walk away and let the people who want to talk about analytics do that on their own with no real validity to what they're talking about, because nobody cares. It's about the entertainment. You know what I mean? So what are we talking about really and realistically? You know what I mean? So if you want to have a healthy conversation And you want me to be honest and realistic with you. This is part of the honesty. Letting it be known that this ain't it. It's over. Scottie went down again. This is third time. He came in with an injury. He got hurt. He got hurt again. This what we doing? We can't put him at risk. RJ got hurt, twice? Quickly got hurt twice. Yacht got hurt. Like, come on, B. We're 11 games out of 11 games out of below 500. And 6.5, even though we're 6.5 out of 5th, it might as well be 60. Because everybody needs games, and it's going to be a battle from December, January, February, March, April, all the way into the playoffs. It's going to be a battle because everybody wants to have the best position, and every game means everything to everybody now. Realistically. You know what I mean? You got a 3-way tie for 5th with Miami, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. They're 1.5 games out of 4th from New York. Like, it's going to be a battle, and we don't have the Warriors. We don't have the soldiers right now. They're not strong enough for that fight. And we can't put it on our starting 5 to carry that load because they're going to break down. We've seen that before as well. So, it's all right. It's all right. You know what I mean? Putting that type of postseason positioning responsibility on them is a lot, man. They young, they babies. They don't fucking know. They can't even rationalize and put in proper context what we mean by a playoff run. At the NBA level, the business, the big show. You know what I mean? We haven't had a healthy 5 together, and the ancillary pieces don't have the experience. They don't. They don't have the experience, and that's okay. It's not our time. There's nothing wrong with saying it's not our time. That's just the truth. We can't sit up here and lie to each other and be like, yo, this is not the group for that. That type of hope and belief is for the champions. Like, for what we had before, that we believed in them. And we believe, like, it's hard. That doesn't carry over to these dudes. They have a lot to learn, and I'm going to give them the time to learn that shit. It's going to take time. It's going to take years. And as the NBA changes and we get better, it'll be our time. But we don't know how much time Darko got or Masai has. We don't know. Will this whole thing stay together the way it is? It might not. But we don't have enough right now to realistically have the year that we want to have. We were aware of the first 25 games, and if we could get through it at least at 500, we're going to be a playoff team. We were right in that estimation, but we didn't achieve it. We're 11 games below 500, and Scottie is down for a few weeks with the ankle injury, and that's it. What are we going to do? We're a step behind where we thought we were. And that's okay. So now let those guys get their reps in. Let them play the rest. But my conversation yesterday was about we're not playing for anything relevant. Guys are just going to get their reps. And it's going to be tough to have the genuine conversations that you want to have as a Raptor fan. We're going to have to dial it down and have these superficial conversations about guys making the next step forward. That's what my whole thing was about. That's what my whole conversation was about yesterday. And I was trying out something new in the midst of that, which was kind of, comfortable for me to use. I'm using it now also. But that was the point. I just wanted to get this to clear things up because I saw people getting in their feelings. It's not about giving up on the team. It's about understanding where you are realistically so that you can make realistic progress without the fantasy and without the red glasses on. The attitude has to be right. Your feet have to be planted firmly on the ground and start to walk correctly before you can run, before you can fly. You know what I mean? You got to take those steps and just be realistic about the process. No one's giving up on the team. It's just where we are right now, we have to be honest with ourselves about it. This season is over. It ain't over, but this season is over. This portion of the journey, we have to just count it as collateral damage and move on and look forward to next season. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm out of here. Peace.